WhatsApp ads, a shift in user privacy expectations. WhatsApp ads face no apparent legal pushback in terms of privacy norms, said industry experts, while privacy advocates argued ads still violate the privacy principles on which the app was created. Sanchit Gogia, chief analyst and CEO at Greyhound Research, said the very act of monetizing behavioral signals via an ads model represents a functional erosion of WhatsApp's once sacrosanct privacy stance. This shift confirms long-standing fears from privacy advocates that WhatsApp's acquisition by Facebook, now Meta, would eventually see it folded into the company's broader surveillance-based revenue model, said Gogia, adding that untouched encryption does little to mitigate the perception of moving from a secure utility to an attention economy platform. Thus, it leads to a user experience that may feel familiar in form, but not in ethos, he said. As quoted in the Hindu Business Line, in an article authored by Volari Sanjuri published on June 17, 2025, beyond the media quote, our view in full, is WhatsApp trading privacy for free access. Greyhound standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the introduction of advertising within WhatsApp's Updates tab constitutes a marked shift in the platform's social contract with its users. While Meta maintains that no message content is used for targeting, and that data inputs are restricted to demographics, language, location, and app activity, the very act of monetizing behavioral signals via ad tech infrastructure represents a functional erosion of WhatsApp's once sacrosanct privacy stance. This shift confirms long-standing fears from privacy advocates that WhatsApp's acquisition by Facebook, now Meta, would eventually see it folded into the company's broader surveillance-based revenue model. What makes this particularly sensitive is the historical positioning of WhatsApp as a no-ads, no-gimmicks platform. Its founders, Jan Koum and Brian Acton, left Meta precisely over this issue. Acton later stating, I sold my users' privacy to a larger benefit. I made a choice and a compromise. That promise of absolute privacy has now been fundamentally reframed. Users may not see their chat content breached, but their metadata, engagement behaviors, status views, and channel follows is being actively harvested to build monetization services. In practical terms, this means users are now paying for WhatsApp's free experience not with money, but with their participation in a finely tuned behavioral ad system. European regulators are already taking issue with the lack of true opt-in consent, suggesting that even if the content of messages remains untouched, the linking of behavioral data across meta platforms without explicit, unbundled approval may fall afoul of GDPR principles. In short, the trade-off is no longer hypothetical. It's active and underway, and for privacy-conscious users and enterprises alike, this may signal a need to reassess WhatsApp's suitability in roles requiring strong information hygiene. Will WhatsApp ads change the user experience significantly? Greyhound standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the insertion of ads into the Updates tab, while technically peripheral, represents a profound symbolic shift in WhatsApp's user experience. The platform has long benefited from a minimalist, distraction-free interface that distinguished it from noisier social networks like Facebook and Instagram. This new model introduces sponsored content into status and channels, thereby reclassifying these surfaces from peer-to-peer engagement zones to ad-serving environments. Even if a user never clicks on these formats, their very existence changes the nature of the platform. With over 1.5 billion users engaging daily with the Updates tab, particularly in emerging markets like India and Brazil, the ads will not go unnoticed. While Meta is careful to frame this as a non-intrusive implementation, ads will only appear between a few stories. Public reaction suggests otherwise. User commentary has ranged from frustration to outright backlash, with terms like enshittification trending across social channels. Many users view this as a slippery slope that risks importing the very noise and algorithmic manipulation they turn to WhatsApp to avoid. From an enterprise standpoint, this shift introduces a risk of blurred boundaries. In industries such as financial services, logistics, and healthcare, where WhatsApp is frequently used for high-trust, time-sensitive communications, the growing complexity of the interface, including content surfaces that mirror Instagram stories, introduces potential friction. Several institutional users have already raised internal flags regarding the appropriateness of using a platform that now mixes personal messages with commercial advertising. Meta's assurance that chat encryption remains untouched does little to mitigate the perceptual transformation from secure utility to attention economy platform. The result is a user experience that may still feel familiar in form, but not in ethos. Is this a move that's been a long time coming? Greyhound standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the rollout of WhatsApp advertising in 2025 is the culmination of a decade-long monetization roadmap that began almost immediately after Facebook's acquisition of the platform in 2014. While the original founders successfully resisted the insertion of ads during their tenure, going so far as to forfeit hundreds of millions of dollars in equity over ideological disagreements, the commercial imperative has always loomed large. By 2020, internal teams at Meta had developed ad prototypes for WhatsApp status, only to shelve them temporarily due to user pushback and regulatory scrutiny. The strategic sequence has been deliberate. Start with business APIs to familiarize enterprises with transactional messaging, then build commerce and payments capabilities, and finally, layer in passive advertising formats once daily active engagement reached sufficient scale. With the Updates tab now seeing 1.5 billion users globally per day, Meta clearly believes the time is right to capitalize. The introduction of paid channel subscriptions and promoted placements alongside ads further confirms a tiered monetization model designed to bring WhatsApp in line with the monetization playbooks used across Facebook and Instagram. While Meta executives have insisted that chats will remain ad-free and encrypted, the framing of the Updates tab as the right surface to monetize, to quote company spokespersons, underscores their intent to gradually shift user perception. This isn't about a one-off campaign. It's the formal integration of WhatsApp into Meta's ad-driven economy. Literally everyone has seen this coming. What was missing until now was user signal density and product readiness. That moment has arrived. The era of WhatsApp as an ad-free sanctuary is officially over. Does the limited rollout justify dismissing concerns? Greyhound standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the current limitation of WhatsApp ads to the Updates tab should not be interpreted as a trivial or dismissible development. The compartmentalized design may appear low friction, but the symbolic cost is high, especially for enterprises, regulators, and end users who have historically held WhatsApp to a higher standard of privacy and purpose. Several risks now emerge. On the compliance front, early reactions from European privacy advocacy groups, such as NOIB, have already flagged WhatsApp's ad targeting as potentially incompatible with GDPR requirements, particularly the lack of meaningful opt-out mechanisms and the implied bundling of consent across Meta services. The platform may soon find itself subject to similar scrutiny as Meta's Facebook and Instagram offerings, which are currently facing legal challenges over their pay or OK models. If the EU determines that WhatsApp users are being coerced into data sharing under the guise of access, enforcement actions could follow. Reputationally, the backlash has already begun. The foundational trust that WhatsApp enjoyed, rooted in its founder-led pledge against advertising, is eroding. Public commentary ranges from sarcasm, never trust the Zuck, to outright condemnation, stop the enshittification of WhatsApp. While these sentiments may appear fringe, they represent a broader psychological tipping point, particularly in sectors like healthcare, law, and public administration, where the mere appearance of advertising or behavioral targeting can disqualify a platform from enterprise workflows. Moreover, the regional variability in WhatsApp usage introduces risk asymmetry. In countries like India, where status updates are widely used and WhatsApp functions as a near ubiquitous digital infrastructure layer, the ad rollout will have immediate daily visibility. In contrast, in Western markets where the Updates tab is less central to user behavior, the change may initially fly under the radar, but its implications are no less material. The broader takeaway is clear. The integrity of a platform is not only defined by what it does, but by how it evolves. Even a light-touch implementation of advertising, if left unchallenged, sets precedent for more invasive models down the line. WhatsApp is no longer exempt from the reputational and operational liabilities that come with ad-based monetization. That in itself is cause for concern, regardless of where the ads currently appear. Analyst in focus, Sanchit Gogia. Sanchit Gogia, or SVG as he is popularly known, is a globally recognized technology analyst, innovation strategist, digital consultant, and board advisor. SVG is the chief analyst, founder and CEO of Greyhound Research, a global, award-winning technology research, advisory, consulting, and education firm. Greyhound Research works closely with global organizations, their CXOs, and the board of directors on technology and digital transformation decisions. SVG is also the founder and CEO of the House of Greyhound, an eclectic venture focusing on interdisciplinary innovation. Copyright policy. All content contained on the Greyhound Research website is protected by copyright law and may not be reproduced, distributed, transmitted, displayed, published or broadcast without the prior written permission of Greyhound Research, or, in the case of third-party materials, the prior written consent of the copyright owner of that content. You may not alter, delete, obscure, or conceal any trademark, copyright, or other notice appearing in any Greyhound Research content. We request our readers not to copy Greyhound Research content and not republish or redistribute them, in whole or partially, via emails or republishing them in any media, including websites, newsletters, or intranets. We understand that you may want to share this content with others, so we've added tools under each content piece that allow you to share the content. If you have any questions, please get in touch with our community relations team at connect@thofker.com.